Father Simon and the Angelus Bells.
What?
That's you guys.
Okay.
The Hay Literary Festival came to a close at the weekend, which has reminded me it's time to fess up to a faux pas at a previous Hay Festival several years ago. Although an avid reader, I'm very much a non-fiction person. It's my wife who is the literature monster, and every year she drags me along to the Hay Festival. I don't mind, really, because it's good fun to celeb watch. While we have an annual ritual at the festival, we sit sipping cocktails at the bar on the corner by the main entrance, and we hold our annual competition to find the UK's most middle-class family, which anyone who's been to Hay will know is a tough job, because just when you think you've picked the winner, there's always another person in red trousers and a bad hat just around the corner.
I was just about to say, how do you... where's your lines? Where's the edges?
Very interesting. Anyway, it's a good game to play. If you've been to Hay, you'll know that this kind of works. Anyway, I digress. My wife's other favourite activity at Hay is the Festival Bookshop, where all the latest literary offerings are for sale. This is a cross between Black Friday and the January sales, where you discover the English middle class, actually we should throw in the Welsh middle class as well, have very sharp elbows. I make an effort to join the scrum, but a quick scan of the shelves usually reveals there's nothing on World War II, ancient Rome, or the history of British rail, so I retreat to the rear and patiently wait for my wife to return from the front line. This wait can be quite tiring after schlepping around the festival all day, so imagine my delight one year when I found a very rare thing, which is an empty chair, a much sought-after commodity at Hay to rest my weary legs. And the festival organisers had even put up a small table next to it, and there was a book there on display. Must be the book of the day or something, so I thought, not a fiction lover. I did start to peruse it, though, and I found it was a novel about the 1973 military coup in Chile, which is the first time those words have come together on Radio 2 for a while. Anyway, it's by some Latin American author, and even I began to get engrossed by this book. After only a few minutes, I became aware of this woman standing in front of me, just standing there. I gave her a cursory glance, and she gave me an expectant smile as though I should give her something. Momentarily puzzled, I then got annoyed. She wants my chair. I mean, the cheek of it, I'm a good 25 years older than her, so I didn't think chivalry should count in these egalitarian days. I did a very English clearing of the throat to indicate that I am slightly annoyed. I tried to ignore her, but when I looked up, there were now 3 women standing there. This is ridiculous. They were all younger than me. Why should I give up my chair? Back off. Finders keepers and all that. I was beginning to feel uncomfortable, but bloody-minded in equal proportions. Now there are 5 young women standing in front of me. This, I have to tell you, was intimidation, and I was not budging. But I was then distracted by a commotion to my right. There was a huge, boisterous queue of parents and their excited children. And look who's at the head of them. It's Simon Mayo. Oh, this is one of those rare confessions where I actually turn up in it.
Who?
Look, he's letting everyone take selfies and laughing and joking with them.
Was he wearing red trousers?
With a hat. Oh, he's signing books for them. See, I can be helpful. And, he's got a white table with a book on it and a chair, just like me. Pretending to rub my brow, I sneaked a peek to my left, and sure enough, there was someone else with a little white table and chair, cheerfully signing books for appreciative fans. Having dug myself into a deep hole, I desperately tried to think on ways to escape the embarrassment. The best I could come up with was to feign a sudden illness. I don't know any Chilean, but I do have a smattering of Romanian. I worked there once a year. Come on, Simon, I'm sure you can do a Romanian accent. Anyway, for some bizarre reason, I thought Romanian would do. So I leapt up, clutched my stomach and cried,
Go on.
Braticeria, toilet. This is Spanish. Toileta. Braticeria. And I fled as fast as I could to hide in the gents. So basically, I need to seek forgiveness from the 5 bemused women, not only for having their time wasted, but also for any future embarrassment caused to them when at a dinner party they tried to assure everyone that people from Chile actually speak Romanian. And from the Latin American author, whoever he was, for wondering why he never gets invited back to the Hay Festival anymore. I did a little bit of research, and I think the guy is Carlos Franz, who was there for a novel called The Absent Sea. Anyway, so if anyone knows Carlos Franz, then he might be thinking why he's not invited back. This could be why. It's Bob in Birmingham who was just sitting down. It wasn't him. He was just thinking, I found an empty chair. I'm going to put my feet up. He didn't realise it was for authors only. Let's go with Joe first of all. What do you say there, Joe?
I think this is Bob in Birmingham, who is ever so slightly a little bit stupid and quite bemused, obviously fatigued by Hay Festival. Maybe has had a little bit of wine, Prosecco possibly along the way. So
yeah.
I kind of understand the predicament, how he got himself into that situation, because he would have been very tired, a little bit emotional, but also a little bit stupid for not realising that there was a queue of people in front of him and why they'd be there. You know, not until he saw you did he realise.
Well, how helpful was I then? I didn't realise.
No, so I think forgiven, just because obviously he was very, very tired and just a little bit tense.
Book festivals can be exhausting, so
you should know.
So I can understand it from Bob's point of view, but maybe he should have realised earlier, Bobby, what was going on.
Well, it's tricky. The thing is, Bob, is it could have been so much worse. I thought you were going down the road of, I was so embarrassed and I didn't know what to do. So what I did is pretended to be Carlos Franz, the Chilean author.
He could have just signed, couldn't he?
Well, yeah, that's what normally happens on this show. So, I mean, that's been the history. So you didn't impersonate an author. So I think, actually, you can be forgiven for, there was an empty chair. Let's face it. No one needed it at that time. It was fine to use it. Of course, there was some entertainment. I don't know, somebody from the radio, whoever he was vaguely entertaining for you. So I think you did the right thing. And it's interesting that you were intimidated by the 5 young women because and you needed the chair first. I just wanted to say is that you may be older, but they might have needed the chair also. But luckily they didn't, and you made your escape. So I think no harm done. Forgive you.